Hey everyone, it's Lisa Mears here. Today I'm going to be making another birthday card using some products from Pink and Main's 10th birthday release. And if you did not check out the unboxing video where I showed all of the products in their birthday release, I will link it here at the top right corner of this video and in the description box below. So be sure you check it out because there's so many fun birthday products in that release. So for my card today, I want to show you how to use these adhesive transfer stickies. Pink and Main has released these two products, which are birthday themed. We have the Build a Cake adhesive transfer stickies, and I actually have these on the wrong backing sheet, so please ignore the name that's on the backing sheet because I just switched up the backing sheets on these two products. But anyway, these are basically adhesive that is in the shape of what you see here on these sheets. So we have the cakes and the sentiments. This particular set is the birthday sentiments adhesive stickies, but wherever you see the black, it's basically like adhesive tape that you would transfer to your cardstock, and you can use glitter or flock or foil to cover up the adhesive to decorate those sentiments and the cake images up. I'm going to start out by using a piece of paper from the Colorful Ink Spots paper pad, and I'm going to die cut this pattern paper using one of the zigzag rectangle dies that came out with last month's release. Next, I'm just going to use my scissors and cut out the pieces that I want to use for my cake. Now, this is very similar to using rub-on transfers. If you've ever used rub-on transfers before, it's a very similar process. So you just cut out the pieces that you want to use, and here I'm just getting all of the cake layers that I want to use and just kind of placing them on this pattern paper of where I want them to go in what order. So I have the cake stand at the very bottom, then I have these two layers of cake right on top, and then I'm going to cut out these other two layers with the triangular shaped layers and add that right above. I'm also going to add a solid piece of cake, and then I also have the candles that I'm going to use on top. So by cutting out all of these individual pieces just like this, even cutting the candlestick away from the flames, it allows me to actually see how much room I need to add all of these onto my card layer. And by adding each one of these layers separately, it will also allow me to change up the glitter, or if you're using foil, you can change up the different colors by adding each one of these layers individually. So each piece has two layers of acetate, and I'm just peeling back the bottom layer of acetate away from that cake stand and then pressing the top layer onto my cardstock exactly where I want it to be. And on the back of this piece here, it actually has like an adhesive backing. It's kind of like double-sided adhesive tape that's in the shape of this cake stand. And I'm just taking this scraper and just rubbing it here onto my paper, making sure I get all that adhesive onto my pattern paper. Next, I'm going to remove the top acetate piece, and it does leave the cake stand with the adhesive onto my cardstock. And I'm using glitter to add some shine and color and sparkle to this cake stand. So I just sprinkled on some glitter, and I'm just burnishing the glitter onto that adhesive. Just shaking off the excess. I'm just using a brush to get any excess glitter off of my paper, and I'll just put the rest of that glitter back into the jar. Now you can use glitter, flock, foil for these adhesive transfers, but I'm just using glitter today. But notice that after I do the cake stand, I just line up the next layer of the cake And again, I'm using my scraper just to transfer it on to my paper. And once I know that that adhesive is on that paper really well, I'm going to go ahead and remove the top acetate piece from my paper and then sprinkle on another color of glitter. So I'm just covering up all of the adhesive from that layer that's on the cardstock and then using my finger to just burnish all of that glitter into that adhesive. And again, I'm just using this brush to remove any excess glitter from the cardstock before I move on to the next layer. And the brush that I'm using, it's not any special brush. It's basically just a makeup brush. You can use any kind of brush that you have. If you have a paintbrush, that would do the trick as well. So next I'm adding the next layer of cake, and I'm going to use the same color glitter that I used for that first piece of cake. I'm going to add the same pink color to this piece. Now the glitter that I'm using is a very fine glitter. I think that when you're trying to burnish glitter into the adhesive, it just works best when you're using a fine or super fine glitter. So I don't know if you can see, but there's a spot on the right side of that last layer of cake that did not fully come off of this backing sheet. I'm going to try and add it back, but I'm not going to be very successful with this. I just put that original acetate piece back on the cardstock and tried to press the last bit of adhesive that was still on the acetate onto my cardstock, but I wasn't very successful. I'm going to come back to this a little bit later and I'm going to show you how you can fix that. So if that does happen, there is a fix for it. So I'm just going to move on here and go to the next layer of cake. So again, I peeled back the acetate backing and then just pressed the new piece of cake onto my pattern paper. Just pressed it down to get that adhesive onto the paper, and I'm just going to continue to repeat this process. So with this next layer of cake, I'm using a purple glitter. Now I just want to remind you, I know not everybody likes to work with glitter because it can get messy. You can use foil. So the Pink and Main Cheerfoil will totally work with this method. And obviously, foil is a much cleaner approach. You won't get all of the little specks of glitter. That's why I have this piece of just paper underneath my work area. It's going to catch all of that glitter just so that it doesn't get all over my work area. So for this top piece of cake or top layer of cake, I'm using blue glitter. And then next is going to come my candles. So you can see here, this is a way to actually get the candles a different color from the flames by just cutting the flames away from these candlesticks like I did here. And I'm just adding the candlesticks. I'll be able to add them with this green glitter. And then when I add the flames, I'll be able to add them with a yellow, or you can even do like an orange glitter. You can see that this cake is super tall, so it does take up the entire height here of my pattern paper. So I'll go ahead and remove that last piece of acetate and then cover up these flames with this yellow glitter. Okay, so there were a couple of mess ups that I do have, and you can see right here I'm going to use the Glaze pen. These pens are available at Pink and Main, and basically they come in white, they come in black, and they come in clear as well. Just taking this little piece off the tip, and basically this is just like glue in a pen form, and I'm just going to color over top of where I need to fill in my glitter. So I'm just going to color over these empty spaces on this cake here on the purple layer, I'm just going to draw a line that extends out to create more of a pointed triangle here on the end of this layer. And when I'm finished, I'll go ahead and sprinkle a little bit of glitter over that area while this is still wet. So I'm just going to sprinkle the pink over the pink layer of cake and then the purple over the purple layer of cake. And then I'll just shake off all of that excess glitter onto my scrap paper. And if you look at the pink layer, you can see that it does fix it. I think it looks pretty good. I think I still need to work on that purple layer. So I'm going to just look at the original acetate piece that has that shape on it, and I'm just going to use that as a reference as I use my glaze pen to color up some glue onto that cake layer, and then I'm just going to repeat the process, adding some of the purple glitter onto it and just dusting off the excess. I think that looks a little bit better. I could have done a little bit better if I had better drawing skills, but I think it definitely looks better than it did. So next I just want to show you how you can take one of these sentiments, or really any of these images that are on these adhesive transfers, and use your foil. So here I'm just taking the word hooray, I'm putting it on this vellum and doing the same process, just adhering it to the vellum and using this scraper just to press it down really well. And then you can just take a piece of foil and pop it right on top and press it down. So you can see it has the word hooray on there with the adhesive. I'm just going to take a piece of the green foil here, and you can just use your finger or just use one of these scraper tools to press this on to that adhesive word. And once you're finished, you can see that it's going to transfer that foil right on to that word hooray. When I peel this back, you can see that it does transfer that on. I'm going to try and get a little bit more foil onto this H by just pressing it down and burnishing it on. And then you can just die cut that with the matching dies. There are dies to match. These are the birthday sentiment dies. And I was going to use this sentiment on my card, but I really just wasn't feeling this on my card. I wanted something a little bit smaller. So I decided to pull out the birthday sentiments foilables cut-ups. There are so many in this pack. There's over 60 birthday sentiments that you can actually put foil on. I wanted something smaller, so I'm choosing the word hooray. And I'll add it to my carrier sheet and add a piece of the Caribbean foil over top. This is the green Cheerfoil that was released this month. And just cut a little small piece big enough for that sentiment, added it to the top, and I'll run this through my ink machine. And once that comes out the back of the ink machine, I'll go ahead and remove the foil, and you can see it does apply that green foil right to the top of that word. I'm going to pop this up with some foam, so I'm just cutting down a piece of foam to add to the back. And then I'm going to put this on my birthday cake. And then I'm just going to add this layer to an A2 size card base. So my card base measures 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. And now this card is complete. So I will have all supplies linked in the description box below. And if you haven't seen the entire Pink and Main birthday release, be sure to check it out because there's lots of fun stuff in that release. I will have the link to that video in the description box below, as well as on the thumbnail here at the end of the video. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.